Hi, and welcome to NitroSecurity. My name is Andy, and for the next few minutes, I'll introduce you to our high-performance, highly integrated security and compliance solutions, including the industry's very first content-aware SIM. Now, to see how we can help you, it helps to know who we are. NitroSecurity is the only security company that has integrated 5 key security technologies into one single seamless system. There's security information and event management, or SIM for short, log management, database activity monitoring, application data monitoring, and intrusion prevention, or IPS. With 90% average annual revenue growth over the last 4 years, it's clear that security and compliance teams really value our solution, and we think you will too. Now, this advanced integration is made possible by our patented high-speed database and data management technology. It can capture and process hundreds of thousands of security events every single second from a whole variety of devices, and I'll explain how in just a moment. Now, folks, this technology has some serious pedigree. In fact, it was actually developed by NitroSecurity's founders to help the U.S. Department of Energy monitor, analyze, and report on the data from their nuclear power plant at the Idaho National Labs. Now, there's a place where you really want to minimize your risk. Of course, this technology worked so well that its creators founded NitroSecurity back in 1999 to help companies like yours reap the very same benefits. We released our IPS product in 2004, our SIM solution in 2007, our log management and database monitor in 2008, and our application data monitor in 2009. Together, they make up our NitroView product family. Now, performance has 2 basic dimensions, scalability and speed. We're going to touch on scalability first. Our innovations in data storage and retrieval technology give you real-time reporting on data sets. It scales all the way up to, believe it or not, billions of security data records. What's more, we move way beyond events and logs and monitor networks, databases, even application payload information directly. Then, we capture, correlate, analyze, and report on that information with ease. All right, let's step over to speed for a moment here. Folks, let me ask you something. How long do you think a typical SIM takes to run a report on all of the events that happen in a given week? Okay, how about a given month? Or a year? Now listen up. With NitroView, you can handle hundreds of thousands of events per second. What's more, you can keep billions of events readily available for correlation, analysis, and reporting, and you can generate those reports in just minutes, even though they're run against much larger data sets. That's right, you heard me, not hours, minutes. Now, with this astonishing level of performance, you can use NitroView to detect a whole wide range of threats, including those sophisticated low and slow attacks. And you can respond in real time, so your system isn't compromised and data isn't lost. This transforms your SIM from a reporting tool that works after the fact to an operations class system that fights for you right there in the heat of battle. What's more, NitroView enables you security analysts out there to monitor application content and trigger alerts for potential policy violations, for insider threats, and for fraud. You know, you can even correlate and generate those detailed reports you need to satisfy all of those demanding regulatory requirements you know so very well, like PCI, NERC, HIPAA, GLBA, and SOX. Now, with all of this power and all of this speed, it's really no surprise that our customers let NitroView handle all kinds of security challenges in all kinds of industries. For example, NASA monitors and analyzes over 3 billion events every single day with NitroView. Administaff, a leading HR services provider, now runs their monthly reports on user ID usage in just 5 minutes, instead of the 5 hours that it took with their first generation SIM. And there's a community college out there that uses NitroView to monitor their data as it moves through the network and their email attachments as they leave the network. And they do it all without an expensive DLP overlay. Now, let's go ahead and take just a quick tour through the NitroView family of appliances. The anchor of our solution here is NitroView's Enterprise Security Manager, or ESM. It correlates and analyzes all of your collected data, and it shows you the results on a single pane of glass. That's our dashboard. That way, you can drill down right into the data you need and do things like creating correlation rules, setting alarms, and running reports. And of course, ESM supports over 300 third-party devices like firewalls, IDS, IPS, routers, switches, servers, hosts, and applications. In short, it's really everything you'd expect from a SIM if your expectations are extraordinarily high. Now, for log management, we have our Enterprise Log Manager, or ELM. Now, the great thing about ELM is that it integrates log management and SIM more tightly than ever before. Right there in the NitroView console, you can see every event showing every value of every source log record. Now, that gives you every piece of data you need for full, real-time, and in-depth analysis, correlation, and reporting. You know, you'll also see the full contents of the source log record. You'll see it right there in the user interface, so you don't have to search through those giant log files. NitroView does all that work for you. What's more, our integrated SIM and log management setup lets you automate your key compliance requirements, including PCI Requirement 10 and NERC 007. But you know that being compliant doesn't really mean being secure. In fact, you face new threats every single day, from malware to application violations to information theft to identity fraud. To address these, SIM needs more information. It needs content information to really be effective for you. So let's take a step back and let's consider what content really is. Now, we define content as the payload of an application. It's that data that's communicated, transferred, and shared over your network. Things like email content and attachments, social network posts, documents, and database queries and responses. And as you know, as this content becomes more important, threats go up and become more complex as they move up that stack looking for weaknesses at the application and session layers. So, if that's content, what does a SIM then need to do to be called content aware? Well, first, you need to monitor application data, and we can certainly help you do that with NitroView's Application Data Monitor, or ADM. It examines entire application sessions, and it looks all the way into the application's contents for data. For example, you could direct it to find confidential information in emails, instant messages, and web applications. Or, here's another great scenario for you. Have you ever tried to use IPS to detect and block downloaded applications, things like Kazaa or Skype? Well, they port hop all over the place, and it leaves you with these rules that don't work or zillions of false positives. Well, now imagine if you could decode the full application session. So not only could you tell what application was being used, but you could see the contents of the file transfer or the chat session as well. You getting the idea? Now, data visibility plays a major role here too, and that means tracking data access with NitroView DBM. So, let's say that you set your database servers to enable native auditing. Well, the logs you produce still can't really paint a complete picture of how that data is being accessed. And of course, you're going to slow down your network performance when you try, so very much you'll hear about it from your database administrators. But with dedicated database monitoring using NitroView DBM, you get the very same policy enforcement, and you don't impact your servers one little bit. Plus, you're now producing a whole complete audit trail of data access and privilege escalations. Now, you're having fun. And finally, folks, there's network visibility and NitroGuard IPS. Have you ever had an antivirus outbreak where you have to take the network down completely and then perform box by box forensics to see how bad the damage is? Well, imagine having flow information that shows you exactly which machines an infected PC talked to, and then of those machines, which ones are actually vulnerable. Our NitroGuard IPS gives you this, with event and flow detail that's put right there into NitroView, so you can quarantine just those machines that are vulnerable. Your network stays up and running, and you've officially saved the day. So, once you've got all of this information, NitroView collects it, normalizes it, and then correlates it against everything else we know about application and database activity and network activity. The result is full visibility across all areas of your network. You know, it also means that NitroView can detect a whole broad range of threats, including more sophisticated application layer vulnerabilities and exploits, multi-vector attacks, and more. Now, here's the very best part, and this is a great note on which to wrap up this presentation. NitroView takes all of the data it's collected and analyzed and delivers it to you here in a single, easy-to-use interface, instead of those multiple screens that you get with other SIMs. And in just a moment, I will tell you exactly how you can test drive this amazing interface yourself. But you know what, folks? Right now, we'll go ahead and wrap up this quick introduction to NitroView and all the different ways its astonishing speed, scalability, and ease of use can keep your network secure. We know you have questions, and you can get those questions answered, and you can take a NitroView test drive and try out that dashboard at either one of our demo stations right over here and here. And don't forget to get your badge scanned, and you'll enter into our drawing we're having at the end of the day to win our Apple iPad. Folks, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate your time and attention. Enjoy the rest of the show.